Hello, Deborah, Lynn, Irmas. Welcome to Sanctuary. How are you doing? I guess I have to almost say tonight.
I'm doing well. Excited to be here and do my interview with you in this beautiful space.
Well, I'm thrilled to have you here over at 18th Street. You and I know each other through 18th Street. You have a studio at the Santa Monica Airport Studios that's owned by the city, but they were administered for 5 years by 18th Street, and we attended a lot of events and met each other, started talking to and about each other's work, and it's just blossomed into a really beautiful ongoing dialogue with as friendly colleagues and collegial friends and friends too. You are a native Angelino with an interesting background, and we'll get to your work in a little while, but perhaps we can start off with you sharing a little bit about your background and leading up to going into the airport studios, and a little bit about your experience as being part of 18th Street Arts Center. And this is completely open. You can share anything you like.
Okay. Let's see. My personal history. I was born in Burbank, and I grew up in North Hollywood. My dad was from an Orthodox Jewish family, and he met my mom, who was Salvadoran Catholic, and they met in San Francisco in some sort of stocking store, and my mom couldn't speak any English at the time. My dad said he met the woman of his dreams when he met her. We always had a joke about that she couldn't speak English. She comes from an Orthodox family. And they did have a beautiful, long marriage, and unfortunately, though, my mom had a lot of bigotry from being Hispanic, and it was always hidden pretty much in our house. I had a little bit of things on both sides, so I got kicked out of Jewish youth group because when I found out my mom was, Hispanic Catholic. And then on the other side, people would call, my friends would call, they say your maid answered, and I was super bad about it, but coming from a very modest environment, I felt happy that they thought that I had a maid, so that was kind of funny. But my mom became very Americanized. That was the thing in that time period, and she worked very hard to do that, and my dad wanted her to be that way, and her name was changed from Violetta to Violet, and we didn't speak Spanish in the house, although she spoke, fluent Spanish to my aunt. And I took French in school. It was like something in my family that just didn't exist. My mom had a thick accent, but I didn't think anything of it, and she made American food, and she didn't speak Spanish to me, and it wasn't until I was in my even late 40s, which you can see was yesterday.
Of course.
That I started telling people about this. I never really thought about it before that, and it was kind of hidden. And as time went by and the pandemic hit, I really was thinking a lot about my family and thinking a lot about my mom. We also grew up in a Jewish neighborhood, so there was nothing, I didn't meet Hispanic people either. So I really wanted to do a series that honored her, and she was an artist, she was a seamstress. My grandmother lived with us, and they were always sewing and knitting and crocheting. And so I started to remember all that, and somehow in 2020 or 2022, I think I started getting into crochet and textiles and fabric, and just made some pieces to let my mom be seen. She was never seen, and
Beautiful.
I felt that was something I had to do. My brother sister weren't going to do it, and I had to do it. So, yeah, that's you know, my history, personal history.
It's a fascinating history. Can you tell us anything about like your experience as an artist, being part of 18th Street for those years? You attended a lot of events. That's how we met.
Yes.
And I think, you know, you took advantage of what 18th Street was bringing to the situation.
I really loved 18th Street. I wish they were still running the studio. There were so many great events, curators, interesting artists, talks. There's a lot going on with 18th Street, and it's a little disappointing that I am not part of them anymore, but I'm happy that I met everybody, so I can still attend a lot of these, you know, artist talks and events that they have. I think that 18th Street really helped me see more of the area that I fit into for art. It helped move me forward in where I wanted to go. And because there's different avenues as an artist that you can follow, but it really did help me. Yeah, so.
Was that the exposure to different artists, different people? Was it just the vibe?
It's more than a vibe. It's that there's maybe I don't know how to say this. Maybe an intellectual bent to 18th Street, and I really took advantage of that. And yes, it's the artists. It's you know, having the residency and just being part of it.
Right.
It's really great.
It was one of the best things about that whole business for me was meeting you, which has been fantastic. So let's talk a little bit about your work and some things you're involved with right now. I have seen your work grow and change. You embrace all kinds of new media. You were working, it's hard to explain, but you were using a lot of Scotch tape to create textures. And this is before you were really, going into the yarn. And then I've seen it evolve in different sizes and different mixtures of media. So maybe you can say a little bit about that, and also some of the incredible shows you're in right now. You're in several, and you're going to be in a few more in the new year.
I make abstract art. Always worked with materials. Right now, though, primarily textile and paint. So this year, I've added paint. I'm interested in, color, collage, kind of doing this whimsical romanticism. And as I said about my family, my work often relates to my personal history and, being bicultural. But I've also been trying to understand like the universal inner child. That's also in my work and something I think about quite a bit. Some of my favorite artists, have always been, Phil Guston. Even though I love textile, I relate to artists that have not worked that way. I do love a lot of textile artists. But,
right. How about some of these shows you're involved with?
I'm really happy. I'm in a show at Super Chief Gallery that was curated by Steve Galindo. He goes by the Style Guide, and he's a very, very nice, wonderful person and curator, and that's a group show, and
Right, he has a show here, right at 18th Street at Olympic,
Yes.
right now.
Yes, and that, I want to see that too. And let's see, I have a show that Deborah's going to go with me tomorrow. That's
Wing woman.
Atwater Village, that's the middle room. So that's a little small work show, salon style. That was a submission show, so I'm happy about that. And I've done some small works for that. And then in January, I'm going to be at Band Devices, and that's a big show. That's about 80 artists, and that's sort of a show where this is a still life show, which is something I don't really work that way. I'm an abstract artist, so it's something that I've had to kind of work on to figure out how my sensibility works doing still life.
Right.
So it's good to, I think it's good to not be too fearful and open yourself up to new experiences as an artist, and not feel that we have to keep doing the same work forever, because our life is always changing and evolving, and we are our work, so.
Right. Well, Deborah, this has been wonderful having you visit, and we do visit each other's studios regularly and respond to each other's work. It's very supportive, but it's also very honest, and it's just been a wonderful gift, another gift I've received through being involved with 18th Street, meeting you and developing our dialogue. So I want to thank you so much for being with us at Sanctuary this evening, and may you know safe space.
Can I say one?
Of course.
So what we didn't talk about, though, is the sanctuary.
Yes, perhaps you can share what sanctuary means to you.
I would like just to speak about this. So I have seen these pieces that Deborah did for a while. I've seen them in the studio. I've seen them up close. And if you haven't seen them, they're quite exquisite. And they're beautifully, genuinely made. And they just have a subtlety and strength about them. And when they're put together into this environment, this sanctuary, they just feel, I can't explain it. It feels cozy in here, but at the same time, it feels safe. But the kind of, as I said to you before, there's something very, holy about a sanctuary, and it does feel that way when I'm in this space. And I just think it's a just fantastic piece of art, and I would hope everybody would have their 15 minutes of fame in this beautiful sanctuary. And with all the noise in the world today, this is really something special.
Deborah, thank you so much, and thank you for just addressing that. Doing these videos, it is fascinating talking to people and being the one to ask the questions, and it's wonderful to get your feedback in that direct way, and it's exactly what we do for each other and with each other so often. So
Thank you, Deborah.
thank you.